everybody. Today we are going to talk about believing in God's words and the healing that can come from believing in God. Now, everybody gets sick at some point. You get a cold, you get the flu, and sometimes we can feel sick emotionally also. We can have days where we feel sad or depressed or angry. Where negative emotions are really controlling us and making us feel really, not so great. But it's very important that we trust in God for healing, that we ask Him for healing, and that we try to seek Him out in those moments when we are hurting. Whether it's physically hurting, like we're sick and we're tired and we don't feel well, or when we're emotionally hurting, when we are sad, when we are angry, when we are depressed, when we are frustrated. Whenever we are sick or whenever we are having a really bad day, it can be really, really difficult to try to see beyond that. It's really hard when you're sick to imagine being better or looking forward to being better. Sometimes you just want to sit there and be miserable. It's the same thing when you are having a bad day. You might know that the next day probably won't be so bad, but because you're not there yet, all you can see is the misery of the moment that you are in. And even though that happens to all of us, we can always try to turn that mood around by relying on God and trusting in God that He's going to eventually heal us from that pain. And He's also going to use it usually to teach us something. Whenever we go through a tough time in our lives, whether we lose a friend or a family member, whether they pass away or there's a fight, if you have a disagreement with somebody that you care about and there's a couple, anxious days before you can make up. If you are having a hard time understanding a certain topic in school and you don't do very well on that unit test. Those things are going to teach you lessons and they're going to help develop your character, whether that's increasing your patience or increasing your positivity or increasing your gratitude or your appreciation or your thankfulness for the time you had with someone or what somebody adds to your life. And it's very important to look for those things and to try to appreciate the not so great moment that you're in, but be confident knowing that you're not going to be in that place forever, and try to purposefully look for the things that you are learning through that bad experience. Because those lessons that you're learning through your bad experiences help you to be a better person during your good experiences, during your good days, your good times. So please try as much as you can today and for the rest of Lent and hopefully for the rest of your lives too. Whenever you are having a really down day, first of all, remind yourself that it does not last forever. It might not go away the very next day, but it will not be forever. Remind yourself that God has a plan for you and He's looking out for you and will heal you in whatever way He sees fit when it's time. And just turn to Him in prayer, because prayer is the number one way that you can find some relief from your bad days. Even if it doesn't make your bad day go away, talking to God can help give you some comfort. It can help make you feel better. It can help you feel more loved. It can help you feel more patient. And it can help you to be strong enough to deal with the bad stuff that happens while you're waiting for more good stuff to happen. So please always trust in God's healing. Please always trust in God's plan. And please always be keeping up a conversation with Him, talking to Him, asking Him for help, thanking Him for things, telling Him how you feel, because that conversation with God, talking with Him, is what's going to grow your relationship, and it's going to help you feel healed physically and emotionally much faster, and you'll be able to deal with the hard times of your life a lot easier when you know that you have God by your side. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Healing God, please help me to always remember that you are with me, that you walk with me, and that you have my best interests at heart. Please help me to learn every lesson I can from the hard times in my life. And please help me to appreciate the good times in my life and the blessings that you have given me.